Yo, what is up, guys? Shinobi here back with you with another reaction video. And today we got ourselves another reaction video by, it looks like somebody named VVV Fiction, or VXV Fiction, my bad, I read that wrong. And apparently, he made a video called 3 Things Genshin Impact Does Better Than Wuthering Waves. Now, as a former Genshin player myself, I'm going to be real, I'm curious on this one. Because I'm gonna be real. When was this video made, first of all? 6 days ago? Okay, yeah, now. I'm really curious to see what he thinks Genshin does better than Wuthering Waves. Because, yes, we already know that if we're talking about which game is better, Wuthering Waves is obviously going to be better just due to the fact that it came out after Genshin, which means it saw all the time. It had all the time in the world to basically improve its game or make its game and not make the same mistakes Genshin did. It's just a given. It's just a given. And obviously, Genshin hasn't fixed a lot of the problems that it has now. So, you know, that's why we're still here. But I'm really curious because as somebody who played Genshin for 4 years, I played up to Fontaine's. And around that mark, we'd already been in for 4 years. It's 5 years now, and they still got a lot of problems. I'm curious because I'm going to be real. I can't come up with anything right now that Wuthering Waves doesn't do better than Genshin. The only thing I can give Genshin right now is the story. And what I mean by the story is the lore, the story, absolute pick. Like it's actually peak. And I'm not gonna lie, if they actually presented it better, I would probably still be playing the game right now. But instead, they're doing stuff like off-screening one of their most important characters, like Dane Slip, for some reason, and all this other bull. Like I don't know what they're doing. Like I don't know who's smoking some crap up there, up at freaking Hoyoverse, but like they have what they need. They just ain't improving on it. I don't know, but hey, I'm yapping at this point. Make sure you like, subscribe to the channel, and also do not start a war in my comment section. I don't got time for that shit. I'm like, this isn't a hate video or anything like that. Because me personally, I'm gonna be real. I want Genshin to get better, like we all do. That's why we talk so harshly about it. But I'm curious because as a former Genshin player myself, I'm gonna be real with you. I got nothing. I'm being genuinely honest when it comes to Genshin Impact and Wuthering Waves. The only thing that I could say people do, well, better in that game is spending money because it just costs so much to summon for characters in that game. But other than that, I really can't come up with nothing. I'm going to be real. But we'll see. Let's see what he got to say.
Meaning I'm throwing bulk in order to get bulk back. What is that system? What is this? I thought I'd sit down for this one. Dear Diamonds and fellow
Also, why is the video lagging here?
It is no secret that Wuthering Waves is a superior product than Genshin Impact. I mean, just look at their release date. One clearly had enough time to study and improve upon the already existing features that the previous product had. Now, whilst Wuthering Waves had definitely taken a lot of inspiration and improved upon those features, unfortunately, there are some things they missed in that copy pasting, which is what I want to point out today. The goal of this...
Now, I'm curious on what he's talking about here because I know that Wuwa technically is a flawed game, even though it has a lot of stuff that Genshin doesn't. Like, me personally, I'm going to be real, that, what do you call it? What is it, that system that you have to use for the echoes in order to get substats? The fucking... Why is my brain just blinking out? But you guys know what I'm talking about. When you go and level up your echoes and you want to get the substats, you got to use a certain material in order to level up those. That needs to go. I'm going to be real. Whenever you farm for echoes, they should just have set substats. That's like, I think actually that's probably one thing that no? Yeah, no, that is one thing right there. Yeah, that's one thing right there that Genshin has that's better. There you go. I guess I wasn't thinking about that. In Genshin Impact, when you level up your artifacts, you automatically get substats right off the rip when you get that. You just get substats immediately. Whereas in Wuwa, when you level up your artifacts, you got to use a certain material that you have to grind to get the substats. Now, it's pretty easy to get that material, especially if you're not leveling up a bunch of echoes. But even still, it's annoying, especially if you're somebody who wills and still tries to, reset for echoes and whatnot. So I could say there's that. There is that.
Is to
tuners, there you go. That tuners need to go.
Discussion on the need of fixing
tuners need to go,
so we can have a better product.
Tuners need to go.
Genshin is better than this, or Wuwa is better than this. Okay, I think we can already agree that when it comes to mechanics and when it comes to what a video game is supposed to be, Wuwa is better But this doesn't mean
Yeah, he ain't
Genshin
wrong
is a
there.
bad game on itself, so that we're clear.
Okay, now here's my point on that. In my opinion, Genshin's a decent game on itself for a period of time. Meaning, it's a decent game in my opinion, up to you get to a certain point in the game. That's my caveat. It's not a bad game overall. Like, if you're just looking for a game to play, it's not a bad game. In fact, it's pretty good overall. But if we're talking about getting into the nitty gritty, I'm gonna be real. There's a lot of things they need to fix with that game, and I mean a lot. And stuff I might add that people have been asking for years. Whether it be with the story, the gameplay, the presentation, all of the above. But that's neither here nor there. Let's get into the video here.
Clear.
Now that we done got that out the way.
Let's start talking about what are the features that Genshin does better than Wuthering Waves. But first, a word from today's sponsor. Sponsored or not,
Shit, we
Elder
got another
Shop is
sponsor.
actually a service I've actually been using, believe it or not. Being a gacha player in the European continent comes with its fair share of disadvantages.
Oh my God, bro.
Damn. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
thanks to LD Shop, that's no longer an issue. LD Shop not only gives you the ability to buy products for cheap, but also gives you the ability to gift your friends with ease. You don't need access to their account. You can just have the UID. And
Man, you guys in Europe really do be getting screwed. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, I've been seeing sometimes the European prices for video games. Holy crap. Y'all be having to pay out the freaking ass for some of this crap, bro. Holy.
You can actually do that. Now, if you want to do this, it's very, very simple. You just pick the game you want. I will be picking Wuthering Waves today because, well, there's a lot of new characters and I want to be ready. I'm going to pick,
Shit,
for example,
you ain't lying. Shit, we ain't lying, bro.
Subscription. There's a reason why there's the popular fire icon on it. You simply go top up.
I've never used LD Shop, by the way, though. I'm gonna be real. I've never used it. I probably should. But then again, I don't spend that often in these gacha games. I'm gonna be real with you.
As things are right now, Hoyo Games gives the ability of smooth gifting. Kuro does not. I don't know why, but I guess that's a thing. So unfortunately for services in general, they need to log into your account and gift you right then and there. I don't know why Kuro is doing that. Devs are not listening when it comes to this particular part of the game, but it is what it is. Now, the reason why I chose Wuthering Waves is actually it shows how secure and trustworthy LD Shop is. They've logged into my account all the time. Nothing ever happened. It's just been a smooth sale. It's been great. Amazing. Once you make a decision, you go pay now, order pending. Your order has been shipped. You need to provide relevant information to successfully recharge. Okay, so we're going to go to the info here, and over here, simply put, you just put all your information. The login method, for example, you just
I don't know, me personally, even though I guess they haven't had any issues yet, it doesn't mean that they can't. Me personally, I ain't doing all that. Me personally, I'll just support the developers through their game, you know, as much as the discounts could help. I don't spend a lot in the game anyway.
Kuro Games, it's always best. You'll notice here that they go recommended. You go, you pick your server, you enter your email, you enter your password, your game UID. I will be doing that right now. And boom, that easy. You just wait for them to deliver it to your account. Simple as that. I just did my dailies. I was going to log off my account anyway. I'll come back probably tomorrow and I will find my delivery being there, which is always awesome. Huge thanks to LD Shop for sponsoring this video. It feels good to be sponsored by something you always use. Let's get back to the video. Let's start off with what I believe is an easy dunk. Now, this in itself is not an issue, but for me personally, and I believe once I pointed out, it might become an issue for you too, which is the team building menu in Wuthering Waves. Now, the team building menu in Hoyoverse game has always been somewhat spicy. The Honkai Star Rail one has characters JoJo posing. We see you, Dr. Ratio, and we also
We see the fit.
interactions where characters, if they know each other in the story, they would play out a line that gives a nod to the story, as in the characters know each other. I always found that.
Yeah, no, I like that feature. I'm not gonna lie. I like that feature. Hell, they even do it in gameplay too, like with ZZZ when I'm playing with Fufu, right? Fufu and Jishun. I hope I'm saying that name right. Even during gameplay, they actually like acknowledge each other and whatnot. So I could say, well, that's Zenless on Zero, so I can't really say Genshin does that. But like even once again with what do you call it? Well, I don't know. This is, I mean, this isn't Genshin. I mean, only Honkai Star Rail, and I think only Honkai Star Rail, I believe, does it with their when you put them in the team together, and ZZ does it when you play with them together. I don't know if Genshin does it, but I haven't played in a while, but I'm pretty sure I've never had that. But I probably would have noticed if they did.
Pretty fun. Genshin Impact takes this a small step further. While they don't have lines that play when characters know each other in your team, they do have amazing animations that play when you select a character. I mean, have you seen the Raiden Shogun when you select the Raiden Shogun in that main
Yeah, no,
event?
I've always liked that.
She swears she cold. Just look at it. And how did Wuthering Waves copy that system from Genshin Impact? You got, drumroll please, 3 pictures. That's right.
Now, you know what's funny is when you're doing the stress zones in Wuthering Waves, when you're doing the stress zones, they actually show an animation when you're done doing those stress zones compared, and people have been asking for this for a little while. Not a long time, but people have been talking about it. How the animations that they show for certain characters or every single character that you beat the stress zones with look way better than just the regular templates that we've been getting. Like, I don't know what's up with that. But, like, yeah, no, I would agree that when it comes to just putting some characters in a loadout, yeah, no, Genshin does do that better. Like, I would love some animations for Wuthering Waves when you put your characters in a team. That would be awesome.
3 PNGs. PNGs that don't even do some characters justice. Like, some characters look more horrible than they actually are. Looking at you, Yinlin and Mortefi. Oh, but don't fret. You can actually buy the skins. If you buy the skins, you get to have a whole new PNG, man. Who in their right?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, they kind of dropped the ball on that. I don't talk about that, but I'm gonna be real. It'd be cool as fuck. Not only if you be able to have just the animations when you're putting them in the lobby, but then on top of that, if you get the skins, you get like the skin animation too. That'd be cool as hell. That would be cool.
Thinks this belongs in a game like Wuthering Waves. I mean, I go from a 2025 AAA experience back to 2014 character select menu. What is even that? This does not belong in a game like Wuthering Waves.
Period.
How do we fix this? It's very simple, really.
The survey. We need to put that shit in the survey. It's as simple as that.
Simply take the Genshin Impact one and you sprinkle in the Honkai Star Rail system where you get to have the lines play out. Like, they don't have that in Genshin Impact yet. You can
Now, see, what's funny about this is I do agree with them, but you already know what's going to happen the instant they do that shit. The first thing that's going to happen, you already know how Twitter is Wuthering Waves puts in the system where the characters interact when you put them in the lobby together. And then they also give the animations. The first thing that these people are going to do on Twitter is be like, see, they're stealing stuff from Genshin, or they're stealing stuff from Honkai Star Rail. And then a whole war is going to freaking pop off on Twitter for like a week or some bullshit. Like, you already know it's going to happen. Not saying that Wuthering Waves or that Kuro shouldn't do it, but you already know what's going to happen if they do.
have it here. And more importantly, improve upon it. Surprise us. Do something that others still didn't do. Because this one...
Joe, to be honest, they aren't even the first ones to do that. Well, I don't know if they are the first or not, but there's a game called Aether Gazer, I believe, where when you put certain characters together, then they do interact with each other. Aether Gazer does this, and... no, Nikkei doesn't do it. My bad. I think it's only Aether Gazer that I remember. Aether Gazer and Epic 7 doesn't do it either. So yeah, just Aether Gazer that at least I remember.
For me personally is a slap in the face every time I open it. I go, oh my god, here we go again. Can I go back to amazing?
And honestly, I'm gonna be real when I say this. I'm gonna be real. It doesn't bug me that much. I'm gonna be real seeing the loadout when you put the characters in there. But it would be a nice touch. It would be a nice touch.
Mechanics and amazing graphics and flying around. Can I do that quickly? This does not belong in my Wuthering Waves.
Fix it.
Next, I want to talk about something that may be controversial, something that will vary from player to player. I think this is something that's going to be hard for all of us to agree on one solution. I tried my best to find one that's going to meet everybody in the middle. Now, the gear recycling system in Wuthering Waves is...
Yes. This shit is ass, bro. We need something better. Because I have so many useless echoes that I don't know what to do with. And the best solution to this problem is to be able to convert them into materials to level echoes up with. Get this garbage out of here, bro. If there's one thing I will say, is that Genshin's artifact thing, where you combine a bunch of artifacts to get one for a certain set, that shit's way better. That shit is way better. I'll take that over this nonsense any day. I don't know what they were smoking with this data merge. Because at first I thought, okay, this would be a good thing. Looks like how Genshin does their freaking artifacts. Bro, this shit is straight garbage. I don't know what they were smoking with that. It's not something I use a lot, and honestly, I rather just farm the freaking echoes because why not? But like it'd be useful to use just in case I have a bunch of useless echoes sitting around like the way I do.
Definitely worse than the one in Genshin Impact.
Like,
a system, in fact,
it is
that Genshin
so
Impact
bad.
fans call the scam
The
box.
scam box,
we have
bro.
something worse than a scam box. So what is a scam box? Well, you put 5 pieces from any set. What matters is the rarity, typically 5 stars, and you put them towards 1 piece for 1 chosen set. This is the Genshin Impact system.
It would be better.
Honkai Star Rail further improves upon this by not only choosing the set you want, but it also allows you to choose the piece you want.
If we're talking Wuthering Waves, Honkai Star Rail, I don't know if ZZZ has it. They might, but Honkai Star Rail is the only one who does it correctly.
If, for example, you're hunting for a 1-cost
Honkai Star Rail is the only one that does it correctly.
You to do that, for example. That's the Honkai Star Rail system. It removes a layer of RNG from you obtaining the gear you desire, which is my current favorite gear recycling system. I haven't checked out the Xenozone 01. Next, I go to Wuthering Waves after seeing so much of these messages now because, goddamn, I'm drowning.
See, I haven't seen those as messages yet. I haven't seen those messages yet, but I'm pretty sure as many echoes as I probably have, I'm gonna start seeing them pretty soon. They need to fix that. Which once again, when that survey pops up, bro, that needs to be like one of the first things you put in there. Please, if they see enough of those, they'll fix it.
In potential echoes that I cannot roll because of how scarce the XP, but then again, that's a topic for another day. And then I go into, oh, you know what? This is great. I have all these old sets. Wuthering Waves has made it clear now that each new character is not going to be utilizing a previous set. They're all going to be coming out with new sets specifically tailored for themselves. So what am I doing with all this bulk of echoes in my backpack? Let me use it. And then you go into the recycling system. And then when you realize is it's completely random.
Yeah.
You don't even remove the layer of RNG that Genshin offers, which is you get to choose the set those resources go towards. No, you don't. It's completely random.
Yeah, that needs to be fixed.
Throwing bulk.
You're throwing bulk,
to get
more bulk, but yeah, you're getting bulk into bulk.
What are you talking about? Are you joking?
Honestly, I'm gonna be real. I would guess that probably at this point, like barely, if anybody, I would say I'd even gamble and say that nobody uses that freaking that echo reset thing. Nobody uses it. It's so bad.
What is that system? What is this?
I'm gonna be real. This video isn't even gonna be the title of what Genshin does better than. Well, actually, that might be the title. What Genshin does better than Wuthering Waves. It's gonna be what Wuthering Waves needs to fix, like for real.
Now, of course, to understand why this design is the way it is obviously because you can farm echoes. You
can farm infinite echoes.
Amounts of echoes for free.
You can.
You do not have to spend your daily stamina whilst in Genshin Impact and Hoyoverse games.
Yeah, you have to spend stamina in order to get the artifacts.
Typically, you obtain 5-star gear through using your daily stamina. Because whilst Hoyoverse...
It's like a trade-off. It's like, yeah, you get infinite echoes, but then you get infinite echoes, but no way to really like recycle or use them for the ones that are like garbage. Not properly, anyway.
Games that have mint pickers. We in Wuthering Waves
God damn, the Infiosity means.
If you have nothing to do, go out there and murder echoes and just hope to drop something. Because at least you're keeping your hands busy and technically progressing. Technically. You're probably never going to get the one piece you want, but you never know. And plus, you're bored. Plus, you ain't got no bitches. So
that's crazy.
Why not? So because of echo pickers, it becomes pretty tricky to offer a solution for this system. For if I'm going to go, well, just give us something maybe like Genshin Impact, or more dangerously like Honkai Star Rail, while people can farm echoes for free, it might make tacit discourse completely irrelevant.
It would.
Doesn't matter why farm.
That's the only problem, is if they were allowed that, it would literally make tacit discourse completely useless. Because why bother doing all that when you can just go into that thing and then get your guaranteed set? It's like it would fix one system, but then kill another. It'd kill the purpose of another set. Because right now, it's like, okay, nobody's using that box, but hey, you can farm echoes infinitely. So one way or another, you're going to get that set. Just depends on how long it takes you to get it. And especially now, it's actually easier to get your echoes because they just respawn immediately, especially the bosses. The bosses that spawn in Reseda specifically. And in freaking Huayong, like, you can just farm them infinitely. So it's just one of them things.
Farm something when you can just go do whatever you want for free, farm them all for free, and just use them, especially Nightmare.
It's like the trade-off is like, okay, Genshin has a better system for their artifact strong box, even though it's still basically the scam box. But you have to use stamina in order to farm your artifacts, which sucks. But then you have Wuthering Waves, where you have the infinite echoes that you can farm, but no way to really like recycle them for better substats or better stats. It's like still random. So it's like tick for tat. I don't know if that's I don't know if to say if that's better or worse, or it's just in the middle. Honestly, I think that's like a middle ground on that one. It's like neither one is really that good. Only Honkai Star Rail does it better. And even then, if we were to implement Honkai Star Rail's version of the strong box into Wuthering Waves, it would kill the purpose of farming Tacit Discords. I mean, well, not what did I don't know. My brain right now, it's all over the place. But we'll figure. I hope that there's a way they can fix that system. But right now, I can't really even say, because once again, I can't really even say that's a nerf against Wuthering Waves at that point, because yeah, you have the strong box for Genshin, and you have the, you know, the way that you have what you got in Honkai Star Rail, but you got to use stamina in order to get that stuff in the first place. Whereas Wuthering Waves, you can just run around the overworld and kill stuff for free. So it's like a tit for tat kind of thing.
Echoes more dangerously, because you can just farm Nightmare Echoes infinitely. They spawn really quickly. You are guaranteed to drop them, like I think 1 out of 2 chance, and you can keep spamming and abuse this system. So how do we counter this? Well, it's very simple. I suggest we have some form of signature that comes with the Tacit Discord echoes. If you spend stamina in order to obtain an echo, that echo becomes tradable for a new, better system that can allow you to choose the set / the piece you want. Because something I've also...
I guess that could work, where it's like only echoes that you get through like the dungeons or whatnot, which take stamina, you can actually, you know, use them for that box versus the ones you can farm in the overworld where you can't use them. That's a good way to fix it.
You'll notice this could just be me, but in the Tacit Discord, I typically drop more 3-cost echoes than 1-cost echoes. A lot of the time, I'm sitting here with some scarcity when it comes to 1-cost echoes. I think it's done.
Yeah, no, 1-cost echoes, you're really only gonna get them if you farm them in the dungeons.
On purpose, it makes sense when you look at it from the lens of 3-cost echoes could have more potential stats, as in it's pretty hard to obtain the one stat you want. So they give you more 3-cost echoes to increase the odds of you obtaining the one element you want. But unfortunately, because of that, it's kind of throwing the baby with the bathwater. So that's why I feel like they should do what Honkai Star Rail is doing in forms of solution, as in remove those 2 layers of RNG and then leave only the RNG of substats. I'm very curious what you guys think about this particular system in the comments below.
It could
if
work.
My solution is good. If not, if there's any
It
other
could work.
angle I missed, please let me know. And finally, a quick little fun one I've noticed is the character titles in the profile. Now, typically, no one cares about your profile. Let's get that out of the way.
That is true.
Now, in Genshin Impact,
Nobody
and in
cares.
Waves,
Nobody
there's
actually
what is known
cares.
as the friendship / intimacy level for characters. Okay, if you obtain a character, if you use them a lot, if you basically hang out with them a lot, technically, you get access to something, typically voice lines. And in Genshin Impact, if you max the level, you get basically something for your profile, like just something you can put there, like a banner picture.
That is true. Like, I think I have my banner in Genshin Impact. It's Kazuha's background, because I use him the most.
A title, something like that. Pretty cool stuff, right? In Wuthering Waves, you unlock voice lines, just like Genshin Impact. But contrary to Genshin Impact, if you want something to be shown in your profile because you have a good relationship with that character, you don't do that by using them a lot. No. You gotta full max their
Yeah,
copies.
that is true. You gotta absolutely max out their copies. In fact, Honestly, I find that's a stupid. I never really thought about it, but that is a dumb way to do it. Where you have to completely C6 a character in order to get their title card. That is a really dumb. That is a really dumb thing. Even though once again nobody cares about your title card. In fact, I haven't changed mine in a fat minute. But it's like one of them things where like why? I don't know. I mean, once again, this is like a small thing, but at the same time, it's kind of a big thing because like why? I don't know why they did it that way. I don't know. I don't know. I definitely can give that one to Genshin. I think even Honkai Star Rail does the same thing. Hell, I think Zenless Zone Zero does this. No, yeah, I think even Zenless Zone Zero does it to some degree.
Then you gotta E6 those characters if you want to have their title in your profile. God damn! How the hell does Genshin Impact is more free-to-play friendly than Wuthering Waves when it comes to titles, man?
Yeah. And funny enough, that's the only thing they're free to play friendly on. Actually, now that I think about it, it's just the title card.
E6, I have to E6 a character just so that I can have their title in my profile. I don't even get to see them naked like in Zenless Zone Zero.
What kind of shit is that?
That's crazy.
Man. Holy, okay, wholly predatory. I mean, it doesn't matter, thankfully. It's just a small...
See, here's the thing. It's predatory, yes, obviously, but it's one of them things where it's not like gameplay breaking. Like, nobody cares about your profile at all. In fact, once again, like I said before, I haven't changed my shit in a while. And whenever I do play with people on Zenless, or not Zenless, my bad, whenever I do play people on Wuthering Waves, once again, it's like, I do not care about their title card at all.
Something for whales to feel better about themselves, but come on. I mean, that's something, to be honest with you, I've always enjoyed doing in Genshin Impact. Once I obtain a new character, I start using that character more and more because I collect new titles. I've always found it like a fun system in Genshin Impact, and it's regrettable that it's not here in Wuthering Waves. Well, technically it is. It's just that the ultimate reward, which is like the banner and like I get to style my profile with many different styles, is now locked behind character copies, as in the gacha system, and not basically a free-to-play system that just...
Hey, you know what? I'm not gonna go there.
Requires a little bit of grinding. So, I don't know. It left a bad taste in my mouth finding out that this is a thing. It just sucks. So, fix it. Just do it like Genshin Impact, really.
He ain't wrong, but I'm gonna be real. I'd rather have something like a title card behind a paywall, something that nobody cares about majority of the time. It's kind of one of those, even though it shouldn't be. I'd rather have that behind a paywall rather than a skin that is temporary, but and only lasts 41 days. And if you know what I'm talking about, you know. If you know, you know, man. All right, let me stop.
It's not that hard. And that's all I found. If you found anything else, please let me know in the comments below. Let's get this conversation going. Let's make...
Yeah, he didn't mention it, but tuners gonna go, bro. Tuners have gotta go. Tuners have gotta... He didn't mention it, but the tuner system has got to go. When you level up your echoes, you should just get your substats then and there. No tuners required. You should not need to do it. Because once again, I've never had a problem farming for tuners. Because I've always had them. Like, I'm not one of them people who are, out here going for crazy, perfect substats and everything like that. But for the people that do, it'd be really useful for people and take less time to be farming for tuners than if you just had it to where the substats on your, echoes just automatically appear when you level them up. But that's the only thing I could really think of outside of that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Though, there's another thing that I think they could do, and I guess this isn't a knock because both games do it, but add a little bit more, mini games to Wuthering Waves. I'm not gonna lie. Add some mini games or some side events. Add more, because there is a lot of time between patches sometimes with Wuthering Waves, where if you're somebody who's on the game all the time, which is not me, because I'm not on the game all the time, but if you are somebody who's on the game all the time, with the side events that you do get, it's like, it's like you get them done and then afterwards you're kind of like waiting until the next patch. There's not a lot going on. It's like the opposite of Genshin Impact, where they got a lot of fluff where you want more story, but then with Wuthering Waves, there's not a lot of fluff, and a lot of it is just the main story or the side quest for the characters. I don't know. That's just a little bit of tidbit, but great video. Great video. I mean, he wasn't wrong in any of his points, though. I will say the second point that he made, where he was talking about the strongbox. I feel like the strongbox system could be put in Wuthering Waves the way he was talking about, if they did it that way, because any other way would basically make it to where people can just infinitely farm echoes and just abuse the system. But other than that, that's pretty much gonna be a great video. Let's actually take a look at the comments to see if anybody else has any other ideas. Because like, once again, Wuwa is not a perfect game by any means. It's not. As much as people like to praise Wuwa and everything like that, it's not a perfect game. And he mentioned some of the stuff that, in my opinion, just needs to be fixed or changed. So once again, Wuwa is not perfect by any means, but compared to the issues that Genshin got, Wuwa's is just not that, like, once again, the tuner system, while it needs to be gone, for me, not that big of a problem. The title card, once again, nobody cares about your profile, and I haven't changed mine since I played the game with Carlotta, so not that big of a deal. The strongbox, nobody uses that shit anyways, and you can farm echoes in the overworld infinitely, so not that big of a problem. It's like with Genshin Impact, though, it's like, okay, you gotta wait certain days to level up your talents, which is, what the fuck? Why are we still doing that? Then on top of that, traversal, like, as far as gameplay traversal goes, it just feels horrible. And you have to pull certain characters to even make it feel decent, once again, which would be obviously the, pull a Yelan or get, not Kaching. Who's that other cat girl? Yeah, why is my brain just not... Well, I haven't played Genshin in a while. That's probably why my brain's forgetting characters. But, like, people have certain teams that people have built, like Malvika, Yelan, Sayu, just to move around the map. Obviously, Kazuho was huge, when it came to, jumping up walls. But, I could go on, but, like, he's not wrong, though. I'll just leave it at that. He's not wrong with the ones that he didn't mention. And once again, I think the tuner system needs to go, too. So, but without further ado, that's pretty much gonna be it. I'm gonna take a look at a couple of the comments here just to see what else people are thinking. Cosmetic stuff. Reroll stats. Lack of 4-star units. Yep, that's one big thing that they need to fix. Yeah, no, yeah. I think, honestly, yeah, that's just the big thing for Wuwa is they need more 4-star characters. I'm talking good ones. I'm talking we need some 4-star characters, like how Genshin has, like, Bennett, Zhengling, and freaking, whoever that blue-haired dude is, who I can't remember his name. We need some 4-star characters like that for real. I mean, I know we got Donjin, but Donjin mains are just freaking crazy. That's like a whole nother breed of crazy. Like, we need one of them characters that we can just all get in there and be like, yeah, this is a 4-star, but really it's a 5-star. But other than that, that's pretty much going to be it. Great video. And honestly, I feel like we need more videos like this in the gacha space in general, where everybody's just kind of being positive about the criticism. Because once again, there's no game on this planet that's perfect. And to quote Mayuri himself, the moment you started talking about perfection is the moment that you lost to me. So, without further ado, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.